In previous lecture of dual nature of radiation and matter, you have already studied what is meant by photon, what is the wave particle duality of radiation. Now in this lecture we are going to study about the photoelectric effect. This effect was observed by the scientist Heinrich Hertz. What is this effect? Consider this is a metal surface such as zinc and ultraviolet radiation are allowed to fall on this metal surface. What happened? Electrons are immediately emitted from the metal surface. Means the emission of electron from the metal surface when ultraviolet radiation falls on it, this phenomenon is called as a photoelectric effect. For observing the photoelectric effect, we can take this metal surface such as zinc metal, magnesium metal or cadmium metal. We have to take ultraviolet radiations. But this effect can also be observed with the help of visible light when we consider alkali metals. This is about the photoelectric effect, and these emitted electrons are called as a photoelectrons, and we will get the current, and that current is called as a photoelectric current. Is emission of electron from the metal surface when ultraviolet radiation of suitable frequency or light of suitable frequency fall on the metal surface is called as a photoelectric effect. What is this suitable frequency? This suitable frequency should be greater than mu 0. Means frequency of incident radiation should be greater than mu 0, or we can also say that this frequency is reciprocal to that of the wavelength. Therefore, lambda 0 should be greater than lambda. Then and then photoelectrons are emitted from the metal surface. Now we study this photoelectric effect by the experimental setup. This is the experimental setup of photoelectric effect. It consists of evacuated glass tube with a quartz window. It having two metal plates which act as an electrode. This is the emitter, this is the collector. Emitter is made up of photosensitive material. Electric field is applied with the help of battery between the two metal plates. Using this potential divider arrangement, we can change the potential between the emitter and collector plate. S is the monochromatic source of light having high frequency and wavelength of 10 raised to minus 7 meter. That is low wavelength. Quartz window here applied because it allows ultraviolet radiation to fall on the emitter plate. When radiations fall on the emitter plate, photoelectrons are ejected from the emitter, and there is a flow of photoelectron. That's why current is constituted in the circuit. This current is measured with the help of this micrometer, and to measure the potential difference, voltmeter is connected here. With the help of this commutator key, we can change the potential, means positive potential or negative potential is given to the collector. Here, by placing different filters or glass of different colors, we can change the frequency of the incident radiation. And also, by changing the distance from the emitter plate and the source, we can change intensity of the incident radiation. This effect is done by taking different steps, and by the steps some observations are done. We see now the observation. Now suppose some positive potential is given to the collector and intensity of the source is kept constant. Means distance between the emitter and source is constant. At that time, what happens? If the radiation of low intensity is incident here, photoelectrons are emitted even if the intensity is dim. Means photoelectrons are emitted at the frequency nu 0. Means when the frequency of incident radiation is greater than the threshold frequency, that is the nu naught, we get the photoelectric current. And it can be shown by this graph. See, at this portion, photoelectric current is 0. If we increase the frequency, what happens? Photoelectric current increases. Means we get photoelectric current when nu is greater than nu 0. This is our observation, and if we stop these radiations, photoelectric current will become 0. Means we get the photoelectric current when the frequency is greater than the threshold frequency, even if the incident radiation is dim or of low intensity. Next we consider second point, that is about the instantaneous process. What is the instantaneous process? Means there is no time lag between the incidence of radiation and emission of photoelectron. We can say that when the light is incident on the emitter plate, at the same time photoelectrons are ejected from that emitter plate, and therefore this is the instantaneous process. If the incident light is dim or of low intensity, at the same time electrons are emitted. Means there is no lag between the incidence of radiation and emission of the photoelectron. Means we can say that it is the instantaneous process. Now next step, we have to give some positive potential to the collector. Means emitter is at negative potential and frequency remains constant. Means here we place the glass is of one color. Frequency remains constant, or another way we can consider source of constant frequency is placed here. Then intensity of radiation increases, photoelectric current also increases. Means number of photoelectrons coming to the collector increases and photoelectric current also increases. We can increase the intensity here, and as we can increase the intensity, photoelectric current increases. Means there is a linear relation between intensity of radiation and photoelectric current. As intensity increases, photoelectric current increases. Now we study next point. For that, we have to consider 3 steps. In this 3 steps, we study the effect of potential on the photoelectric current. At first, we consider that at zero potential, what happens, and when we give the accelerating potential, what happens, and when we give retarding potential, what happens. When at the collector, or when potential difference between emitter and collector is 0 and radiation are incident on the emitter, electrons are emitted. As there is no potential difference between emitter and collector, that emitted electron reach to the collector, and since there is some current flowing through the circuit, see this point, at this point collector current, means current flowing through the circuit is this, but potential is 0. This is the first step. In second step, we will consider here, we are going increasing the accelerating potential. Means to the collector there is a positive potential is given, and to emitter negative potential is given. As we go on increasing the accelerating potential, what happens? That electrons are attracted towards the collector due to this potential difference, and therefore what we get here, as accelerating potential increases, photocurrent increases. Again see, as this at this accelerating potential, photocurrent increases. Again, as we go on increasing the accelerating potential, photocurrent increases. Again we increase the accelerating potential. What is happen here? Current does not increases. At this point, as we go on increasing the accelerating potential, current remains constant, and this constant current is called as a saturation current. Consider, as we go on increasing the accelerating potential at this portion, photoelectric current increases, and at this point what happened? We get the constant current graph, means saturation current. Now consider, negative potential is applied between the emitter and collector, means collector is at negative potential and emitter is at positive potential. Now what happened? Due to this negative potential on a collector, electrons are retarded, means they are repelled due to this negative potential given to the collector. Means we can say that at accelerating potential and at the retarding potential, opposite process is taken. At the retarding potential, number of electrons are repelled toward the emitter. And what happened? But there are some electrons which having kinetic energy they reach to the collector. That's why as we increase the negative potential on the collector, photoelectric current decreases. Again we increase the potential, negative potential, photocurrent decreases. Again see, as we increase this negative potential, photocurrent decreases at this point. And see, we are considering for the given frequency and intensity and accelerating potential, we can observe here this first graph. Okay. Now suppose this experiment is done by changing the intensity. What happened? Frequency remains the same. The nature of graph is same. Again, if we increase the intensity, what happened? See this line or this curve. As we go on increasing the intensity, saturation current increases. Means we can observe that at a given accelerating potential and the frequency constant, we can say that intensity increases, saturation current also increases proportionally. Now see, here we are increasing the intensity, but if you observe this graph, at this point V0, photoelectric current becomes 0. And if we increase the negative potential or retarding potential, photoelectric current at this point is also 0. Again at this point is also 0. Means what is V0? V0 is called as a cutoff potential or stopping potential, or it is also called as a critical potential. At this V0, if we are changing the intensity, we are getting here V0 is constant, means value of V0 is not changing. Therefore, what is V0? V0 is the indication of energy. Means we know that in all this process, electrons emitted from the emitter have different velocity, means they have different kinetic energy. Here, maximum kinetic energy electron is kept at the emitter due to difference between the emitter and collector. Means electron which having maximum kinetic energy is stopped here due to this electrical potential energy. We know that kinetic energy maximum must be equal to work done. Means in this case, when the maximum kinetic energy electron are stopped at the emitter, work is done on that electron to remain it at rest due to potential difference given between the emitter and collector. Therefore, we can say that kinetic energy maximum is equal to work done. Then, by the definition of potential energy, we can write here V is equal to W upon Q, where W is the work done on that charge Q. Therefore, we will write W is equal to Q into V. Here, electrons are moving, so we will use here E into potential V naught. Then, putting this value in equation 1, what we will get? Kinetic energy maximum is equal to EV naught. Therefore, what is the formula for kinetic energy? Half mv square. This v is stands for the velocity. Half mv square is equal to EV naught. From all this discussion, we can conclude that kinetic energy depends on the potential. And if we change here plate, or if we change this emitter plate, then what happens? Kinetic energy changes. Means it is different for different material. Here, kinetic energy depends upon the potential. Even if that means here we get the photoelectric current, even if very small intensity of light is incident on the emitter. From this, we can also conclude that V naught is a stopping potential, is a voltage at which photoelectric current just becomes zero for the given emitter and potential given collector and emitter negative potential difference is given. Okay. From this, we can also conclude that V naught does not depend upon the intensity. We can observe here V naught does not depend upon the intensity, because here I naught 3 is the greater as compared to I naught 2, and it is greater as compared to I naught 1. And therefore, for the different intensity, V naught is same. Therefore, we can conclude that V naught does not depend upon the intensity. Now, we observe next point. In that next point, we study the photoelectric current by considering intensity constant. Now see, at potential 0 there is some current. As we go on increasing the accelerating potential, what happened? Current increases. Again we go on increasing the accelerating potential, we get the saturation current. Now consider to the retarding potential side. As we go on increasing the negative potential, photoelectric current decreases. We get the stopping potential V naught. Again, this experiment is done with the changing frequency. Now change the frequency, that nu2, which is higher than nu1. We get the same nature of the graph is same, but stopping potential is different. Again, change frequency, we are going to increase the frequency. Again the graph is same, and we get the same saturation current for the different frequency. We get same saturation current for the different frequency. From this, we can conclude that the stopping potential depends on the frequency, and it does not depends upon the intensity of the given incident radiation. Okay, this is our F point. And again, if we consider the graph of stopping potential versus incident frequency, only consider metal A, line for the metal A. Now what happened here? See, at this point nu 0, as incident frequency increases, stopping potential increases. See here, as incident frequency increases, stopping potential increases. Again, as incident frequency increases, stopping potential increases. Means we get stopping potential increase when incident frequency is increases above the threshold frequency. Nu naught is called as a threshold frequency. Again, if we compare this graph for the two metals such as metal A and metal B, we can see here the slope for the two graph is same. Here we can observe that the intercept along x-axis are different for the different metal. Also, intercept on y-axis they are also different, and that is minus phi 0 e and minus phi 0 dash upon e. We will discuss these 2 points later on. Only you have to remember here, if we plot the graph of stopping potential and incident energy, what happens? Slope of the graph is same. Only x-intercept and y-intercepts are different. In our and also we can say that by all these observation we can conclude that photocurrent does not depend upon the frequency, but photocurrent depends on the intensity. As we see here, as we increase the intensity, photoelectric current also increases. These are our basic and important observations about the photoelectric effect. Now we study Einstein's postulates of quantization of energy and photoelectric equation. Einstein used Planck's quantum theory to explain the photoelectric effect, and he considered that there are two assumptions. First, light energy is propagated in a space in the form of packets of energy like this, and each quantum of energy is called as a photon. Means light is propagated in the form of packets of energy or quanta, and quantum of energy is called as a photon, and photon having energy E is equal to h into nu, where nu is the frequency of incident radiation and E is the energy of the photon. Here energy of the photon means energy gives particle nature, and frequency gives the wave nature. Also, C is equal to nu lambda. Therefore, nu is equal to C upon lambda. Putting in above equation, what we will write? E is equal to hc upon lambda. Call this second, call this 1. From these two equations, we can say that energy of incident radiation increases as the frequency is increases. Also, energy of incident radiation is large if this lambda is low. From this, we can explain the photoelectric equation. Now consider there is a metal and free electrons are in a metal. And atom consists of an electron, and what happens when the radiation of energy h nu will fall on the metal surface, the electrons, this energy of the photon is given to the electron. Total all this energy is absorbed by the electron. And second assumption of Einstein is that this collision is inelastic collision, means total energy h nu is given to the electron, which is present in the atom. Then what happens when this energy is absorbed, total energy is absorbed by the electron, it is utilized in the two ways. First, to overcome the work function, and second, to move with the maximum kinetic energy. Means h nu is the energy which is incident on the electron, that is the energy of a photon. That energy is utilized for two different ways. First, to overcome the work function, and second, it moves with the maximum kinetic energy. What is the work function then? The minimum energy required to release the electron from the atom or to release the electron from the metal surface, that a minimum energy is called as a work function. It is measured in an electron volt and it is denoted by phi naught. Then, by the law of conservation of energy, we can write here incident energy, that is h nu is equal to phi 0 plus remaining energy, that is converted into kinetic energy. Therefore, this equation can be rearranged. We will get kinetic energy of the electron is equal to h nu minus phi 0, where phi 0 is a work function. Work function is different for different material of the emitter plate. If we take the different material plate, then this phi 0 is different for the different material. Putting the value of kinetic energy, we will write half mv square is equal to h nu minus phi 0. The electron which is on the surface of a metal having low work function and having maximum kinetic energy. Therefore, we will write here half mv square is equal to h nu minus phi naught, and this is the Einstein photoelectric equation, and using this Einstein photoelectric equation we can explain all the observations taken in a photoelectric effect. All these observations are explained with the help of Einstein photoelectric equation. According to Einstein, photons having the energy h nu when incident on the metal surface or when it is incident on the emitter, all of its energy is absorbed by the electron and photon does not exist. When electron absorbs all of its energy, it is emitted from the emitter surface. When this kinetic energy of the electron is non-negative. When this kinetic energy of the electron will be non-negative, when this energy of the incident radiation should be greater than or equal to work function. Therefore, we can write here h nu should be greater than or equal to work function. Then and then electrons are emitted from the emitter surface. For that, threshold frequency should be greater than phi naught upon h, since we can say that for the emission of the photoelectron from the emitter, frequency of incident radiation should be greater than the threshold frequency. Now suppose if the frequency of incident radiation is less than the threshold frequency, no photoelectrons are emitted from the emitter surface if the intensity of radiation is large. But when the incident frequency is greater than the threshold frequency, emission of electron takes place even if the intensity of the incident radiation is very dim or it is low. Now see, second observation. In that second observation, what happened? Here, the radiation of the incident light falls on the emitter plate. Means, according to Einstein, photon falls on the emitter plate. Means, quanta of energy h nu falls on the emitter plate. At the same time, photoelectrons are emitted from the emitter plate. Means there is no time lag in the incidence of the photon on the emitter plate and emission of electron from the emitter plate. Means this is the instantaneous process, and this is one of the basic characteristics of photoelectric effect. Even if the intensity of incident radiation is very low, then and then electrons are emitted from the emitter when light falls on it or when the photons falls on the emitter. as we go on increasing the intensity of radiation, what happened? Number of photoelectrons emitted from the emitter increases. Means there is an increase in the number of photoelectron will takes place and photoelectric current will flow through the circuit. Means as we increase the intensity of radiation, means we are increasing the number of photon incident on the emitter plate and therefore photoelectric current increases. Here number of photon incident on a unit area per unit time increases. That's why number of electron also increases. Here one photon will emit one electron and therefore as we go on increasing the intensity of radiation, means we are increasing the number of photon incident on the emitter, therefore number of electron emitted from the emitter increases. We can say that here intensity of radiation increases, photoelectric current increases. Intensity of radiation increases means number of photon per unit time, per unit area increases, therefore photoelectric current also increases. Now suppose positive potential is given to the collector and negative potential given to the emitter. What happened? Due to this positive potential, electrons are accelerated towards the collector and photoelectric current increases. Means here we can see accelerating potential increases, photoelectric current increases, because electrons emitted from the emitter are accelerated by the potential given to the collector, and intensity is the indication of number of photon incident per unit area per unit time increases, and therefore electron emitted from the emitter also increases. And if we apply here positive potential, what happens? They are accelerated towards the collector and we get the increase in the photocurrent. And what happened? If number of electrons emitted from the emitter all reaches to the collector, we get here this saturation current I0. And also we can observe that as intensity of incident radiation increases, means number of photons incident per unit time per unit area increases, therefore saturation current also increases. Our next observation is about the kinetic energy. We know that this kinetic energy is equal to h nu minus phi 0. Means what is h nu? H nu is the incident energy on the emitter, and out of that incident energy some work is done or some energy is required to move the electron from the metal surface, that is the work function. Means we can write here kinetic energy is equal to h nu, or maximum kinetic energy is equal to h nu minus phi 0. Here maximum kinetic energy depends on the nu, means as we increase nu kinetic energy will also increases, and also it depends on the phi 0, that is the photoelectric work function, means that depends on the material. Means maximum kinetic energy depends on the frequency and it does not depend on the intensity. It depends on the frequency and it depends on the material. It does not depend on the intensity of incident radiation. Next observation is about the kinetic energy. Means kinetic energy of the emitted electron is different for the different electron. How we can explain this? Now consider this is a metal surface, and suppose this is the electron near the metal surface and this is the electron at the depth d from the metal surface. These electrons absorb the energy of the photon and emitted from the metal surface having more kinetic energy. Means kinetic energy of this electron is more, but the electron which is inside the surface of a metal, it having, means to overcome this depth it requires more energy and therefore its kinetic energy is less. Means kinetic energy depends on the depth of the electron. Also when the electron is in the atom, and according to position of the electron, we know that the energy of the electron is different from the different electron inside the atom. And therefore also if suppose there is an electron and this electron is moved from the metal surface, at that time collision will take place. Due to this reason, that collision inside the metal surface, again depth of the electron and energy of the electron, due to these three reasons, kinetic energy of the electron is different for the different electrons. Now consider, negative potential is given to the collector and positive potential is given to the emitter. What happens? Due to this retarding potential, electrons are repelled to the emitter, and at that time kinetic energy of electron is not sufficient to reach to the collector. Therefore, if we write here maximum kinetic energy is less than the EV0, means this maximum kinetic energy is less than this energy, then no electron can reach the collector. Means we can say that energy is not sufficient for the electron to reach the collector. Means we can also say that energy of the electron is lost at the emitter, and no electron can be reached at the collector. Therefore, we can also say that kinetic energy is equal to EV0. Putting this value in this equation, maximum kinetic energy equation, we will write here EV0 is equal to h nu minus phi 0. Means where what is V0? V0 is the stopping potential, and this stopping potential depends upon the frequency and the material, and it does not depend upon the intensity. From all these, we can conclude that V0 is the indication of energy, and V0 and kinetic energy does not depends upon the intensity, but they depend upon the frequency and the material. Means kinetic energy and stopping potential is different for different material. When maximum kinetic energy of an electron is less than EV0, kinetic energy of electron is less than EV0, at that time there is no photoelectric current. Means electron having not such enough energy so that they can reach the collector. And when kinetic energy maximum is greater than EV0, at that time electrons reach the collector and they will constitute photoelectric current. And when at the stopping potential here, when the stopping potential is there, photoelectric current is 0, and we will write here maximum kinetic energy is equal to EV0 at the stopping potential. Putting this value of maximum kinetic energy, the equation, the given equation of photoelectric, the given photoelectric equation will become EV0 is equal to h nu minus phi 0. Rearranging this equation, you will get V0 is equal to h upon E nu minus phi 0 upon E, where h upon E is a constant, and this equation is analogous to the equation y is equal to mx minus c, where stopping potential increases linearly with the incident frequency. H upon E is the slope of the line, and C is the intercept. If we plot here graph of stopping potential versus the incident frequency, you will observe here should be stopping potential and here should be frequency, incident frequency, and we will get graph like this. And this intercept is minus phi 0 upon E, and here this is the threshold frequency. Slope of this graph is h upon E, and this intercept is x-intercept gives the threshold frequency, and y-intercept here is the phi 0 upon E. And if we compare this graph for the two metal, slope is same, but here this intercept of threshold frequency and phi 0 upon E are different for the different material. From all these, we can conclude that photoelectric current does not depend upon the frequency, but it depends upon the intensity of incident radiation. From all this, we can conclude that photoelectric current depends on the intensity of incident radiation and the potential, even if frequency of incident radiation is greater than the threshold frequency.